It's chat time with Chunk and Cucumber and your host, Dino.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Good morning. Welcome to Chat Time, everybody.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. And
Guten Tag.
Guten Morgen.
Buongiorno. Well, I don't know what we were doing, but I just part of that.
Same words.
Welcome to Chat Time. I'm your host, Dino, as always. And of course, with me is Chunk and Cucumber.
Hello.
And today we have Kevin Carlson on the show.
Hello.
Yay! We're really excited to have Kevin on, a figure in the past of all of our lives, whether you knew it or not.
And the present. He ain't
And the
dead.
president.
That's weird. Weird way to say that.
Listen,
Well, weird way to put that.
Wow.
this is our dynamic, Kevin. Welcome to the show. Regrets are there. I see. But welcome to the show, everybody. Let's start off with what we always start off with, which is, but how do you feel?
Oh, I didn't hear what it was.
Oh, don't worry. I'll tell you in a second when we do it live.
Okay.
It's not like you were doing anything
No, I was
before.
busy.
That's right. So today about how do you feel? For those of you that don't know, but how do you feel is where we describe how we're feeling using a category. And
our hands.
In what?
Nothing.
In my hands. I'm Italian. It's what I do. Listen. Why? That's what my grandma used to do every time she was upset. Why, Dino? Anyways.
Why does she make her grandma so upset?
Because she's an Italian Catholic
She's a sweet old
grandmother.
lady. What did you do to her?
You don't understand what Italian Catholic grandmothers are like, do you?
Yeah, they make delicious food.
They do make delicious food. They're also very passionate and yell a lot. Exactly.
All right, great. Moving on.
I love my grandmother, but she was she tended
Well,
to yell
what
a
a
lot.
piece of work.
No, it was a lot of like, Dino, why you no eat? Why manja, Dino? It was things like that.
Oh,
like it's
that's
not like I was.
adorable.
Yeah, I was.
I'd eat the food.
I did. I had 2 plates, and then I'd start on a third and not finish it, and I'd get upset. She'd get mad at me. Why are we going to my childhood? This is
Dino.
therapy.
We're
Yes.
doing this.
Listen,
That's where we were.
Yeah.
I know, I got sidetracked. But how do you feel is where describe how we're feeling using a category. And I've been watching, I watched 2 episodes of Moon Knight in a row. And if you haven't seen Moon Knight, it's
good.
very good, very good.
Wait, only the first 2? That's all you've
No,
seen?
3. I watched the second and third one.
Okay, there's a
in
4th
row.
one.
No, sorry, the third one and the 4th one back to back.
Okay, cool.
Because I was behind and I caught up last night. Anyways, so it's very good on Disney Plus, but it has to do with Egyptian mythology, and I love Egyptian mythology.
Jesus Christ, breathe, man. Just
This is the most the guest that Dino has been excited the most.
Apparently.
This is what's happening.
giddy.
Yeah, Kevin. He was so excited about Kevin being here today.
He was
Anyways.
fanning his face. Like, oh my god.
Maybe we should all just do a cleansing breath. Maybe
Let's
a
do
big
quick,
deep.
ready, 1.
Yeah.
Dino, why do you not take the cleansing breath?
Thank you for that. Makes me feel at home. Because of Egyptian mythology, they have a god for many things. Apparently not as many
what's
as
his name?
this world. What? A god for many things?
Don't entertain me. Just move forward.
Anyways,
Just go.
then why do you do this?
I don't know. I can't help it.
So, for if you were to be made a god right now of anything, based on how you're feeling, what god would you be? God of what? Or goddess. You could be goddess.
The god of failed naps.
God of failed naps.
Yes,
I like
people
that.
would worship me by tossing and turning on their pillows because they know they need that like 30 minutes of downtime before they move on to the second half of their day at their third job, and then they can't sleep. Well, that would be me.
Yeah.
I would gain my power by everyone who can't fucking nap properly.
Everybody who tries is like, I got time for a 30-minute nap. Let's do it. They sleep 15 minutes, and then 15 minutes. The rest of the 15 minutes is just regretting their decision to try to nap. You force. Yeah, that sounds about right. I know exactly how that feels. God, what am I thinking? I'm thinking, I don't know. Kevin, you got one?
I feel like I'm the god of tomatoes.
The god of tomatoes. Why is
Because
that?
I planted some tomatoes last week, and I like go outside and lord over them and go, come on, do your thing. Let's go.
Grow.
Grow. If you like Italian food, We need tomatoes.
Exactly. I have often seen my parents in the backyard lording over their tomatoes, trying to make them grow. It used to be a lot better. They're a lot, yeah, pretty much. God, I'm thinking. Okay, I have a lot of chaotic energy, and I think I'll be the god of caffeine.
That checks out.
Yeah, I not only am I one of my other jobs, Kevin. We haven't talked about this yet. Is I'm a barista, so I make coffee, I drink coffee, and
You am coffee.
I am coffee.
Yeah.
Espresso runs in my vein alongside marinara.
You only have one vein?
My veins. Did I say veins?
He's a
singular.
My veins. Oh yes, just one of the veins, not all the veins. Just that one right there. Don't look at it, it's red. Anyways. It's not good. What about you, Art? What god are you?
Who?
Art.
Who?
I don't know where Art went. Chunk.
Who?
There's Chunk.
Hi, Chunk. This is Chunk.
Chunk is blue and furry, and Art is not.
He's furry too.
What color is Art? He is.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
It's not really a trap. That's just a normal question, you fucking weirdo.
I was hoping it was a trap.
Anyways, what god would you be, Chunk?
Is there like an Egyptian god of multiplicity?
This is something you can make
Like
up.
the 80s movie?
No, because I would like to be here as part of the conversation, but also be there at the booth
Oh.
fixing things.
I see.
Somehow, for some reason, the show is different every week.
I'd
Yeah,
like to be in the
I don't know how
Tropic
you
of
do it.
Capricorn.
The what?
Tropic of Capricorn?
That's where you'd like to be?
That's where I'd like to be.
Where's the
I mean,
tropic?
as well as here right now,
Yeah.
if we're doing the multiplicity.
What's the Tropic of Capricorn? Where's that?
If you look at the map, it's where it says the Tropic of Capricorn.
Where on the... What does that
The
mean?
warm part.
Oh, the warm part. Okay,
I
that's
don't
what.
know. That's why you need to look at the map. I don't know.
You just like the way it sounds, that's
Yeah.
all. Eric says, how are you guys? Let me be on your show. I mean...
What you do, Eric?
Yeah.
Who's your daddy? What does he do?
Who is your daddy and what does he do? Speaking of what do we do, Kevin's here.
Yeah.
He's listening to our nonsense for the last 5 minutes.
He's very patient.
What? I really wasn't listening. I was just nodding.
He's just scrolling on
I was
Instagram.
just nodding. Pretending I was listening.
So Kevin, I like to throw this to my guests. Who are you? What do you do? How many tomatoes have you grown in your life? And what is your least favorite pepper?
Oh. Well, the least favorite is the ghost pepper because that can ruin your day and night.
Can ruin a lot of things, probably.
No, I'm a puppeteer. I mean, I carved out a career for the last 35 years. And, you know, it's funny because my boys growing up would always go, Dad, why do you have to be a puppeteer? Why couldn't you just be a fireman? It's so much easier to explain.
Something cool.
Yeah, cool.
You nerd.
Nerd, total nerd.
Yeah.
Like Dad plays with dolls.
Which is, it's funny because I grew up with your sons, and I've known you since I was a kid.
Son?
I don't know him. Maybe I do have a beard and glasses. That's all that matters, right? Anyways, but yeah, so I grew up together with your two sons, Cody and Gus, and
Got their socials?
yeah,
Okay,
they're
cool.
just names. And I didn't really know what you did. Like, I kind of did. Like, I saw the puppets. I know they were there, but it was never a conversation of like, oh, what does your dad do? And they never really was a thing, or it didn't register in my brain.
Did you just assume he was a fireman?
I guess so. I don't know. I think I saw the drums. The drums were in the garage. I thought maybe you had something to do with music. I think, and I know Cody played the drums, but
Actually, Cody played guitar.
Guitar.
Wow.
That's right.
Wow, you grew up with these kids, huh?
Okay. Also, that was 20 years ago.
I distinctly remember a French bassoon.
But yeah, so I don't know why. Like it didn't. Like I knew Timmy the Tooth, and I knew a bunch of stuff that you've done, but it didn't click in my brain that I was talking to the person behind all that.
Yeah.
And then coming here, working with Felted Friends like I am, you're brought back up into conversation, and all those lines all connected in my head, and it was a very interesting time.
And Kevin's worked on
That's
a lot
great.
of stuff. A lot of stuff that I'm sure everybody's seen
Yeah.
and is very familiar with.
Yes. Let's. What was your? Let's say. What was the because other people define people's careers by certain things, but how would you define, like, what was the moment where you feel like this was like a really good part of my career? I think this might be my high point, or things like that.
Okay.
Yeah, have you peaked? And what does it feel like to be at the bottom?
Not like the high point, but like this is a high point of my career. Like this is what I think is the thing I'm most proud of.
There it is. There you got that.
There you go.
Thank you. Jesus, they always make me feel like I'm a piece of shit.
I was a chicken McNugget. Okay, so
That's pretty
that's
cool.
That's awesome.
bragging right.
That's pretty cool.
That's the autobiography title, right? Like my
was a
life as a
chicken
chicken McNugget.
I always say, like, De Niro, no. Tom Cruise, no. Tom Hanks, no. They didn't play chicken McNuggets. I did.
Yeah, that's right.
And I think that's the beauty of being a puppeteer is that, we're anonymous. I mean, I can go to a restaurant and not be bothered by people like wanting autographs and stuff, and as a character actor, we can play all kinds of characters from, so it's really, it's diverse, which is really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the...
But the high point I was going to say, the high point was probably playing the Hollywood Bowl with the Muppets.
Oh, that's so
yeah,
cool.
that was such a good show.
That was a good show. I cried like a baby.
He did.
I did.
I
I
thought.
did. What really stuck with me was at the very end, we had the big chorus and the big finale with the fireworks. And as the fireworks went off, it lit up everyone's faces. And it was like 18,000 people.
Yeah.
And they're all smiling. Everyone was smiling and just having a good time. And it just felt so good that we were all sharing this moment of, goodness. And it was thrilling. Goose pimply, Goose pimply good.
That's awesome. I see. That's what I meant by high point. You guys assholes. That's
not what you said, though.
That's not what you said.
I said high point. Anyways,
We'll talk later.
I meant for you. Like, what do you like? A thing that you remember. Anyways, but I like those moments where you get to realize, like, oh man, like I'm doing something really cool. But not just I think it's cool. A lot of other people think it's cool too. But because sure, like we are always like, oh yeah, I do cool things, and then somebody else is like, you do what? Oh, you play with dolls.
Yeah.
But actually, I've actually been on the Hollywood Bowl stage too. Actually, that was one of the high points of my college career too, was performing on that stage with John Williams. But
Sick.
So that's a weirdly unique perspective to have, is looking out into a sea of people that are enjoying what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's humbling in a way, but also kind of makes you feel like you're on top of the world.
And it's like crack cocaine.
Yeah.
Because the second you feel like I need that again, or I'll never feel that again. I need to feel that again.
Yeah, that's why we do this. So we went from a part where you felt like really on top of the world. Now, what was the first moment in your life that you remember thinking, I could do this. I could be a puppeteer for a job forever. Like, what was that moment like?
I started when I was like 15. I was demonstrating puppets that a company was selling at the Broadway department store, and they had pre-recorded little bits and stuff but for me, I would do the bits and then I would just go out in the front, and as people walked by, I would start to harass them, and I realized this is where it's at. This live interaction with people instead of the pre-recorded kind of whatever. And I realized that this is really fun, and I got a good sense of what it means to perform and be, on present in the moment and doing the improv yes ands and the whole thing,
That's so cool.
So that was the first time where I realized, yeah, I could do this. I first set up with Sid and Marty Krofft. They had a workshop. They were looking for puppeteers, and so that's where I got my start.
Oh,
and
wow.
me and about 20 other people got in, and like Alan Troutman and Bruce Lanoil, and we're still pals. We still work together a lot.
That's awesome.
And that was a great little start into the business.
Sounds like it. What brought you to puppets? Like, what you said, you were demonstrating puppets. What brought you into that world originally? What made you think, oh, puppets?
Well, I was working with my church puppet team, basically.
Oh, cool.
Because I didn't want to go to the sermons. I wanted to play with puppets. So we would do Bible stories and reenact, and I actually wrote my first script was Jonah and the Whale, and we performed it. So it was
cool.
like one of those things where, just kind of, puppetry is very theatrical. It has all the elements of theater, music and everything, and staging, costuming, the whole deal. So yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah, you kind of have to do it all, especially at the beginning. I'm sure you have to make your own, and create these characters from nothing. And stop looking up at me.
That's a weird conversation for me.
Sorry. You have to be your own magical life bringer.
Magical life bringer.
There you go.
The god of magical life bringers.
So that's how you got your start. With what was the gig that made you feel like I am a professional puppeteer? Like this was like, I think I've made it into that. I've crossed that line into wanting to do it for a living to no, I'm going to be doing this for a while. Like what was that thing that crossed the line? Was it the Sid and Marty Krofft group, or was it after that?
I think it was after that. I had a few jobs here and there, but it was the Timmy the Tooth story that really, because I hooked up with a few partners and we did live puppet shows. We did live puppet shows for birthday parties and whatnots, and it was the Timmy the Tooth variety show.
Oh,
and
that's cool.
So that's how it started, and then we took it into a 99-seat theater for the weekends, and we would sell out. And it was like, oh, we got something good here, and so we were breaking down the stage one day, and we decided, let's take it to the next level. Let's figure out how we can make this work. And so we spent a good 6 months developing a video series, because video was hot at the time. Yeah. This is back in 90, 91, early 90s. Yeah. And because Barney had just like got on the market, and people were just, and it was the first time where parents had the ability to shove a tape into the machine and let your kids watch exactly what you want them to watch, instead of just being, broadcast whatever they're going to air, commercials and everything else. So anyways, that for me, that Timmy the Tooth was because I actually was this, performed Timmy along with, we had about 16 other puppeteers, but I was the lead, and I wrote music for it, or wrote songs and performed the character. And it was like, that was a moment of like, okay, yeah. I'm the Tom Cruise of puppetry.
Yeah, I am a big deal. Like I don't just think I'm a big deal.
And if y'all don't remember, there was a Timmy the Tooth like trailer on almost every VHS that I owned. Right? You were everywhere, man. It was awesome.
That's crazy.
And then Rice Krispies too. We had a tie-in with Rice Krispies.
Yes.
So in every grocery store was Timmy the Tooth. And the folks at Universal did some amazing marketing stuff. They gave away a free video with 2 box tops of Rice Krispies.
I think I did that when I was like,
and they gave away Big Mouth Gulch.
Yeah.
The cowboy version. Yeah.
But I remember that.
We did 10 episodes. They were all half hours, and they're available on Peacock now, on the Peacock network.
No way!
Oh, cool.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
Shoot, I gotta sign up for Peacock then, I guess.
Yeah. It's really good on 420 day. Just didn't watch all of the Timmy the Tooth.
Dang, we missed it. Oh.
Dude.
Next time. Greetings, everybody in the chat, by the way. Hello, Angie, and Eric I saw there too. Rick too. Welcome, everybody. Okay, cool. So you went from puppeteering, now you're writing and producing your own show. Did Timmy the Tooth open up any like other cool opportunities for you that you weren't expecting?
Well, pretty much. I mean, after we delivered the show and they started selling them, we were able to pursue a housekeeping deal with Universal. So we had 2 more years of developing shows with Universal, and they were paying us to develop shows, and that was kind of like the cherry on the top there for that whole thing. And of course, we sold a couple other little shows, and just when the internet was starting to come out too. So they were looking for stuff for the internet, but they didn't know how to do it. And I mean, it was like trying to come up with ways to do it. Well, the thing that's really cool for me now, realizing that we have almost all the abilities that we never had before with technology, with computers and with the editing and with the, the green screen stuff that you can do now, it's amazing. So we used to record on a little 4-track cassette tape, and now you can just, now it's like digital, and it's great. I love it.
What that was one of my questions is too, from a puppeteer's perspective, what is the biggest change in how things worked back then now? Is it what it might have been just what you just said, but is there anything that like really helped you as for your job in as far as technology?
Well, it was kind of some good stuff and some bad stuff too, because CGI, digital replacement and whatnot was kind of took a lot of puppeteers away from the sets and stuff, and so actors had to work with tennis balls, on a stick, and so it's like that the digital world kind of pushed into the puppetry world a little bit, but it also circles back, and now we're back in it, and now they're doing hybrids now, where puppets are actually getting CG, eyebrows and stuff too to enhance the performances. Like in Cats and Dogs, the movie Cats and Dogs, the cat, I forget the evil cat. He was kind of a hybrid, but the animatronic puppet itself had so much expression. And my buddy Bruce actually performed the character. Oh wow! And he could do some amazing stuff with the puppet. So the CG guys didn't have to do a lot to enhance it because it was already good from the get-go.
I love that.
That's so cool. Awesome. I've always been a big fan of practical effects, and I like that it's changing back. The pendulum is swinging back the other way now, and people are realizing, kind of like the way hipsters and stuff are really obsessed with like where we always go for like vinyl instead of digital, like or audio. It's kind of like that. I feel like where it's I don't know if it's nostalgia, but it's like, oh man, like digital's just not as good as like the physical like analog, like it. And I feel like that's part of it. And we realize now that with enhanced cameras that sometimes instead of using computer animation, it looks more real to have a physical.
You can always tell when something's not there.
Yeah,
like it doesn't matter how good your digital sculpting or animation or whatever is. Like just be like, that thing is not physically present, and it's a bummer. But another good example of that I liked a lot was in that James Franco like Oz movie, where they just basically CG'd over a marionette performance by, was that Huber, or was that
Philip Huber?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was such a cool thing because they basically just they CG'd entirely over a physical marionette that was there. So it's like it had that weird CG glossy look, but physically, like it moved because it was there. And so it interacted with its environment really well. It was nice.
That's so cool. Oh, yeah.
Speaking of marionettes, Team America.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You did that.
Yeah. And I had that was a great experience, because Trey and Matt, they're comic geniuses. I mean, and like talk about triple threats. They wrote music and did Broadway. They South Park. I mean, they're super funny, and they take their comedy seriously, which is really fun. And that shoot was intense. I'll tell you, like there was one time where Gary had to walk. I was doing the facial animation, so Marionettist was doing the puppet on top of a genie lift, right? Yeah. And so Gary had to walk to the limousine, right? He comes out of the building and goes into the limousine, and as we're shooting it, Trey says, "Can we cut those strings that are in his face?" And it's like the marionettist upstairs is going, "No, you can't. You can't do that." So that's why when the puppet comes out, he just doesn't. His shoulders don't move very much, and he's just kind of stiff. But I mean, the whole thing worked pretty well. And the whole, what else amazes me about that show is that Trey was writing it as we were going too. He didn't really have the ending was kind of like didn't figure out how they were going to do it. And then it was so funny because in the bar scene with the old guy, where there's 3 types of people in this world.
Yeah.
And that became, at the very end, the climax is what Gary does that speech at the end. and it just is so stupid and funny. I love it.
I love that even like something big like that, where they're like, oh yeah, we're still figuring out this movie as we're making it. Like they just greenlit them because we trust Trey and Matt so much that like do whatever you want, it's gonna be gold. Like
that's kind of how they work. Even on South Park, they just kind of make it up like the week of, and then they animate it the week of.
Was it 6 days to air?
6 days to air, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Great documentary, and stressful as hell. Like I could never. But
like
I remember hearing stories from that set that like they had to keep pulling back the quality of the puppetry for the gag, like because it looked too good and the things moved too well, right? So they had you like dumb them up.
Yeah, exactly. Because I was doing the facial animation, and we had a program called Gilderfluke, which was like they used for the Small World puppets, right? And you could actually the faces actually had like oohs and e's, so we could really program the characters. Like we had Spotswood and we were programming them, and so when we showed Matt and Trey, I remember looking at their faces and they were just going, oh, play it again. So we played it again and they just go, oh, it's too good. No. We want the South Parky kind of just open, flappy mouth kind of thing. It was like, all right. We had spent like 2 weeks, dialing this thing in, but it was creepy. It was creepy because we got all the lip shapes and everything. It was like, oh, wow, that's weird. It was unsettling, I think. So that's what I love about Trey and Matt. They had the full on sensibility, that we were trying to be, super articulate, and they said, no, make it just kind of clunky, it worked because it was funny.
Yeah.
Especially like the fight scenes. It's like, they would just bash into each other.
Oh my
anyways.
gosh.
And that's what I love about that, because it's like if you got like a bad puppeteer to attempt to make that movie, or a bad puppeteers to attempt to make a movie, like it wouldn't be funny, it would just be bad. So it's like you need the good performers in order to intentionally make a bad, like a silly performance. It's so good.
Like it's like what's it called, the show that goes wrong, or the goes wrong
yes.
Yeah, like they're really good performers, and they are really good at what they do, but they make it look like they're messing up everything. But you can't do that if you're actually bad at it, because it just will look like a mess.
It's all beautiful fine tuning.
Yeah. Like a Three Stooges kind of thing too, where like they're not idiots, but they're really good at looking like idiots. So
I think one of my favorite things, this is just because I'm a nerd, that Kevin's done. I think you were on an episode of The Office, weren't you?
Oh yeah. I played Edward R. Meow. There was a cat that was on a kid show that Michael was on as a kid. And so I was able to interview him, and it was a good gig,
That's awesome.
And that was the first time the monitor had it's HD cameras, right? But the monitor's still a standard, and so there was a delay, and so you have to wrap your head around, positioning, and then don't look at the lip sync because it's just going to make you go.
And that's kind of now the standard. There's just always going to be a little bit of a delay, no matter how good the equipment is. Especially
when they spread it out over like 10 or 15 monitors, it gets a little weak. But
so now you just have to get used to it.
And
that's crazy.
Overcome it. You got to overcome it.
I can't imagine. Like I remember when we were doing like Trash Piece Theater over on Zoom and stuff. There'd be a little bit of delay between time, and like even that alone was so annoying to be like, in my talk, I don't. My turn?
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. And so I can't imagine having to like do a full performance that you're getting paid to do a lot of like very well to do, to like have to deal with like a delay, and you're like, how am I going to do that?
It's great. It's the best.
I can't.
Speaking of prep time, X-Trek wants to know how long we prep for chat time.
What's that like?
Like 20, 30 minutes or so at most.
We don't do a lot of prep setup. I do some research, and I get some stuff ready that I'd like to talk about. And
I drink
things
a
like
cup of coffee.
Yeah, and we use the excuse of improv as a way not to have to.
We play improv games.
That's it. It's an improvised show.
No, but actually, I do kind of like the idea of having a regular conversation and just talking to people normally without having to like feel like there's like I need to hit this point here or this point here, but just like let things go naturally while still knowing where I'd like to guide things later on. But that's a little bit my process. I was just on a show, speaking of prep, with Annie Menji and Rick Creeper. They just posted the podcast episode I recorded with, so we'll talk about that later at the very end, but it's promote it. But he did a lot more prep than I do, and I was very impressed. But anyways, we're talking to Kevin.
Yeah, not talking about you.
So, I know.
How's that organic thing working out for you?
Oh, son of a bitch. So, Kevin, so what have you been up to lately? Like, what is through the pandemic and everything? What have you been up to lately?
Well, I did a couple of Timmy the Tooth little pandemic things that were just YouTubed, but I've been doing some corporate videos now, and I'm working with a software company called Control Up. And
I saw those videos.
Yeah, they're trying to market to IT departments and people that work from home, because it creates a clearer path so people can log in quicker, and they don't have the breakups and stuff, and they can real-time analytics and it's a lot of technobabble that I just puppets have to do it, not me. So.
That's so cool. What is that like, going from like a entertainment point of view to now doing stuff work for the corporate world? What's the world like?
It's all entertainment. I mean, because that's the thing. Entertainment, you got to entertain them. And I'm producing all of them, so I'm art department, I'm wardrobe, I'm props, I'm doing editing, I'm the camera, I'm doing the whole thing, and performing. Jeez. So what I love about it, though, is like in the early stages of discussing, the folks at the marketing department want us to include a lot of techno babble of stuff that just is like, whoo, way over your head. It's like, what? And I just tell them, I said, your audience will get it, but you want to go beyond what you think your audience is, and you got to entertain. So we need the funny. We need to bring in the funny, the pratfalls and things that puppets can do, so that it's entertaining. So people go, oh, the puppets. And it's so funny because I talked to the boss, and the boss was saying that he goes, I'm not so sure about the puppets anymore if we want to do anything, and I'm thinking, just when I think I'm going to call you and say we're done, somebody will come up to me and go, hey, I saw that video, and the video helped me make the sale. It was a salesperson. And it's like, okay, then we're back on. Let's do it.
I mean, if any of my jobs had work videos, I would have loved them to be puppet video, like with puppets and everything. That'd be so much more better than watching, the safety guy with the red shirt and buff arms. You guys know what I'm talking about.
I do.
Let's tell this is the point your toe and go. Like, I would rather have
safety begins with me.
And a funny story. Well, not too long ago, we actually worked on a video for a hospice care company.
No way.
Whoa.
You were in it.
I was in it?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I was in it. I forgot about that.
Maybe we need to take you to hospice care.
Silly little video for a hospice care company.
And then I remember the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember. I remember now.
What is the weirdest thing you were ever hired to do?
Oh.
It's Hollywood.
I had to do a promo for it was a commercial for Nabisco, I think.
Oh.
And they wanted us to puppeteer live babies, right? And it was the weirdest thing. So we would use it was crazy. We were all scratching our heads too. So we would attach the rods to the babies with Band-Aids, right? So we could. And so a baby would be in a little jumper type thing, right? And then, happy little baby, drooling and the whole thing. Holy shit. You try to move their arms, so we try to make them do a little dancey thing. But then the minute they would see the thing attached to them, they would pull it away like, hey, who's moving my arms?
It's like they have autonomy or something. How dare they?
You're just a puppet. Just be a puppet.
God, that's awesome.
We were trying to make a moonwalk, the baby's moonwalk, but it's like the babies, they were only good for like maybe 5 minutes before they started going, no!
Then he had to throw them out.
Did it work? Did you finish?
No, it didn't go. It was just too weird.
Oh man.
Rita says, this is illegal.
It was borderline. It was borderline.
Trick says, did the parents know?
Oh, the parents were there, and the parents would just be standing over like, "What are you doing?"
That's a fair response.
What is the? I want to go behind. I want to find out what those people were thinking that created that idea of. We want to use babies, but we want to control their movements. So we're gonna attach rods to their legs and arms.
I mean,
why not just have a baby puppet? Like, why
what
don't
an idea.
understand?
What an idea.
Because real babies are cheaper.
That's true.
Yeah,
Free, really.
Free babies are free. So that's the weirdest gig you ever did, which is very interesting. Now let's. I think we should dive in a little bit.
I have a question.
Yes. Oh, you have a question? Go ahead.
Kevin, can we talk about SAG stuff?
Oh,
SAG.
Yeah.
So,
The Screen Actors Guild.
Yeah, Screen Actors Guild. So Kevin does a lot of really good work for fellow puppeteers and stuff for SAG.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm the chairperson of the SAG Puppeteers Committee. But we're SAG-AFTRA now, so you got to say SAG-AFTRA.
You ruled?
I was SAG when I joined.
But
Not me.
yeah,
I'm finally paid up.
Tony Urbano started a caucus, a group of puppeteers. We went to SAG. Yeah, and because as principal performers, we have all the protections as all the actors have, except our faces aren't seen, right? And so the producers always say, well, we don't see your faces, so we're not going to pay you, that type of thing. So we've been fighting this battle for a long time, as long as we've been puppeteering. And most producers get it. Most producers understand that we have this craft and we're specialty actors, and that's not a big deal. But then there's those that are greedy and don't want to pay us. And it's like, well, you have to pay us because we're principal performers, and this is what we do, and this is how it's been, and sorry, pay us.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! So you get to kind of represent the world of puppetry with SAG-AFTRA.
Right. And we have ongoing battles with Warner Brothers, especially, which is weird. I don't understand why Warner Brothers. I think some executive had a bad puppet show experience as a kid.
They tried to puppeteer his baby, and then just.
He was one of the babies. This is villain origin story. It's like flashbacks every time he sees a Band-Aid. No.
That's true.
Reed H. Cooper asks, well, wait, puppeteers aren't hired as actors? Well, they're supposed to be, and generally they are, but not everybody, you always have to fight for it. Often you have to fight for them to understand that.
Yeah.
Some people, like Kevin said, some people are fine and they get it, and you get hired as an actor, it's not a big deal. Other times it's a bigger deal.
Oh, and Menji says you don't see voiceover artists' face either, but they still get paid as actors.
But they also have a lot more people in their bucket. Puppeteers are a pretty small community, and it's harder for us to rally and wrangle and yell loud enough to get Thanks, Kevin. We appreciate you.
I will say, I had one more question I just thought of right now. We're a very nerdy show. We have thank you for the follow, Grease Monkey.
Grease Monkey.
So we're a very nerdy show, as you can see by all the stuff behind us. What is the thing that you nerd out about besides puppetry? What is something that you nerd out about a lot? What is one of your nerddoms?
Ukuleles.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
I'm
awesome.
I'm a ukist.
I'm Presbyterian.
So I kind of nerd out about that. But who else I really nerd out about is Randy Feltface.
Oh my God.
We just saw
him.
We just saw him in San Diego.
Oh, I wish I would have gone.
It's if only someone had told you to buy tickets immediately.
I saw him here in LA a couple years ago and was floored and just realized, oh, you can do so much. And that guy, I met him too, and he's just a normal dude, and super funny and poignant and
so good.
So good. And the whole time I'm watching him, I'm thinking, oh, there's going to be a break where the puppet spazzes out or does some sort of weird thing. The arms, never. It was just completely real the whole time. And you can't imagine he must be squatting or on his knees. I don't know how he's doing it all the time.
Yeah, he moves a lot.
Yeah.
He does, and very effective.
This little short pace.
Yeah,
Randy Philface pace.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah, I mean,
That's my Randy Philface impression.
I teach puppetry. I teach film and television puppetry for actors that want to learn how to be a puppeteer, and I tell them, go watch Randy Philface.
Yeah,
that's the guy. I mean, that is what you're capable of doing with puppets.
His arm rod work. His arm rod work is crazy. Like, he just does so much stuff with his arms.
It's so good. It's so good. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Inspiring. It's very inspiring.
Yeah. And then his comedy is so well crafted too. Yeah. On top of everything, like not only is he worrying about, being Randy Feltface, he's also crafting this incredible comedic performance on top of everything else. That is
poignant.
Yeah, with poignancy, and he's fluid. He can react in the moment, and he brings in people into the, like, I've only seen videos of him, so seeing him live and seeing how he worked the crowd and reacted with everything, it was so cool.
Yeah.
And I will say, I think Cucumber can attest to this. I think his closer for that show was the best closer to any
It was beautifully manipulative.
It
was my favorite thing I've ever seen.
He had us all singing the first verse of Sweet Caroline. By the end, like, it was nuts.
And
bum bum bum.
Yeah, and he because he said it because he's like, well, you know that every act has to end with this, and this. So he told you exactly what he was gonna do. You were like a part of it as it was happening, but not a single human could resist doing the thing. Yeah. It was awesome.
That's great.
It was great. Yeah. Oh man.
Reach Cooper says, if there's anything non-puppeteer SAG-AFTRA members can do to help, please let me know.
There we go.
Anything Signature would help.
Yeah. Is there a place that we can send people to either donate or speak on behalf of puppets?
Arms race.
Well, yeah, we have a Facebook page, but it's for SAG members only.
Oh, got it.
But my advice to any non-union puppeteer is, like, puppeteers are protected by the SAG union, and you should demand that. Because if there's other actors that are union actors, you're entitled to be a SAG actor and be Taft-Hartley'd into the union. Now, joining SAG is an expensive undertaking.
Very expensive.
I just made my last payment.
Yeah. No,
I can never travel again.
Let me just tell you that it's totally worth it because I'm kind of getting up there in age now. But I have a pension, and my health and coverage has been spectacular. And it's hard to keep earning the eligibility, but that's the struggle of life, So non-union puppeteers recognize that what you want to be able to do with a career in puppetry is become a professional SAG-AFTRA puppeteer.
Yeah,
and it does take some perseverance and demand. You have to tell the producers that says, I want to be in the union, especially because if you're doing a show that has actors that are union in it, you're entitled to be Taft-Hartley'd into the union.
Yeah. So you grab them by the shirt and you're like, listen, motherfucker.
I have a question because I legitimately don't know.
Yeah.
When you join the SAG-AFTRA union, is there a distinction between joining as a puppeteer versus joining as an actor? Or
like money wise,
or like is there a different classification, or is this everybody's in the union?
Just as an actor.
So if you perform on screen as yourself versus with a puppet, it's the same for the union purposes.
Yeah,
cool.
There are categories. Like there's stunt performers, there's dancers, there's background performers, and puppeteers is one of the check boxes.
Okay.
But we are protected under both of the major contracts, the theatrical contract and the commercials contract. So, it's a big deal. And, like I said, some producers get it. They understand, they respect the craft, they respect us as actors. And then there's the other producers that are just trying to shortchange.
Yeah. Barda Bliney says, the Irish are here to support unionization. Thank you, Lord.
Yes.
Actually, speaking of being a barista, the Starbucks has been unionizing too. And I've firsthand been witnessing some union busting happening at the store that I work at, and
fun.
it's not fun, and it's really annoying.
No,
What's it like? We've never
not
experienced
fun.
such a thing
I
from
know,
a large
never.
corporation trying to squash the unionization of good humble workers.
Certainly
like
not
ourselves.
one with two big ears.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so it's great to hear that nowadays, especially. And I feel like a lot in the in like generation like 30, like our generation and younger are really getting the idea of you should be supported by a union. You should have people fighting for you.
Yes.
Which is great because jobs that like typically would get people mistreated, like being in food service or something like that, are starting to realize, hey, we don't have to take this. Like we can stand up for ourselves and speak out and say, no, we want to be represented and get what we deserve.
Yes.
Yes,
and
I think,
Yes.
yeah, and I know that Hollywood has had that for a while, but even then, like it's still like it's not like a blanket thing that everybody is supported by the union.
Yes.
So even then, I think people are starting to realize more and more about that. Yes.
I just want to clarify one thing in the chat. Yeah, my annual dues are reasonable, y'all. It's only like $300, but I had to just join, and the initiation fees are out of this fucking world.
You either go on a nice vacation or you join the union.
Yeah. So now that that's out of the way, I'm golden. It's great.
Yeah,
Everything's
it's easier
fine.
then.
But woofy, woof, woof.
And they're very patient with you. Like if you're late, they're like, okay, just
What?
whenever you get around to it.
Yeah.
I could have spaced
Well, I don't know about the initiation, but like like your annual dues. Like if you
sure.
miss it, you can go like, oh, I'm sorry, so sorry, and then you pay it, and then it's
sweet.
fine, and everything goes back to normal.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're very. You
It's
might not
worth
get
it, though.
your CDs though.
That's true.
I didn't get mine. I was so sad. I joined. I was like, I can finally get screeners. And they're like, not you, buddy.
You know what? Let's do another deep dive into Kevin Carlson's life. With
Buckle up.
one of these is bullshit.
Nope.
There it is. This is the two truths and a lie that we like to play. Yeah. So, Kevin, we'll have you read out your three statements, two truths and one lie, and then we'll drop a straw poll in the chat. So
I emailed it to you. The link.
Oh, you want me to put it in the chat?
Yes, could you?
Okay, I have to get it on
forgot
my
to
Twitch.
tell you.
You did forget to tell me.
Yeah.
Great. Anyway, so we'll go through the three statements. You in the chat, you will listen to them and
Vote.
decide which one is why. There it is.
Which one is-
Which one is the lie, and vote for in the straw poll.
Yes.
And then we will discuss what we think.
Yeah.
And then we'll go through one truth at a time until we get the answer.
Good.
Kevin, take it away.
Oh, okay. So the first one, I used a puppet in the passenger seat so I could drive in the carpool lane.
Okay.
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 That's number one. So now number two,
Yes.
I sat next to Dr. Fauci and his wife at a Broadway review show.
Okay.
That's possible.
Okay. And I'm a male model for safety gear.
I just got a picture of Kevin like in like little shorts and like safety glasses.
Yeah.
Like
Goggles and a cup.
like village people status.
That's it.
With the oh man, I want to say it's the middle one because I want the other two to be true.
Let's see. If you guys want to vote. I think it's working. We'll see if that thing works.
I also really want the male model for safety gear to be true. So I'm gonna say sitting next to Fauci. Is it a lie? Because it's so
Wait, I
specific.
think Dr. Fauci doesn't like the theater.
I feel like he probably hasn't gone out and about in a while.
He was too busy throwing the pitch at the baseball game to go to the theater.
I don't know. I mean that's reasonable. Usually us shorter felted friend folks, we might be a little too small to get picked up by the carpool lane cameras. So
that's true.
perhaps it's that one. Unless he had a giant fella in there,
straw-
like Brian-sized monster.
Straw poll's not updating, but it's in the chat. It's in the but it's in the
Yeah.
Can I
you can
click
see it. Yeah.
Yes.
It looks like Carpool Lane is winning by 57%. The next is a Dr. Fauci, and the third one is male model. So everybody thinks that you used the puppet in the carpool lane is the lie,
Interesting.
which I'm gonna go with too. I think I agree. I'm gonna go with that because that seems really risky. Kevin seems like a very responsible guy to me.
Yeah, he's got a lemon tree. I mean, you gotta trust the guy with the lemon tree.
And tomatoes.
And tomatoes.
That's true.
Those don't grow on trees.
Those don't grow. Yeah, I'm gonna say Dr. Fauci. I'm gonna say sitting next to Dr. Fauci is a lie because I really want the other two to be true. Even though I know you're a good person, I still want to believe that you tried to put a puppet into this passenger seat so you can get in the carpool lane because I want to be able to do that sometime.
Yeah. What do you want to know?
Yeah. What's the first? Tell us one of the truths. What is one of those truths?
I actually did sit next to Dr. Fauci at the Kennedy Center, and I looked over and I said to his wife, I said, "Is that Dr. Fauci? Is that your husband?" And she goes, "Yeah." I go, "You think I can say hi?" And I leaned over and said hi, and I saw the Capitol Police kind of stand up and come over to me. But I will tell you, Dr. Fauci's mask was very form-fitting. It almost looked like it was stapled on. I was like, but he was very genuine, and I had a great little chat with him, and he was like saying how great it was that we could be in the theater together, because people loved the show, and he could tell by that. And I had so many questions to ask him, but he after the show was over, he and his wife took off really fast. It was like, sure. Tony, come back! I got questions.
Tony, quick, interview.
Said, I can call him Tony, but like my wife can't because she didn't meet him.
That's right. Of course, you're on a first name basis.
You guys probably shouldn't call him Tony.
No.
Dr. Fauci. Doctor.
And then also, go ahead.
I was going to say, what were you watching at the Kennedy Center?
It was a Broadway review of like a lot of Broadway shows actually start at the Kennedy Center before they go to Broadway to kind of work out the kinks. And it was a Broadway review of all the shows that ever started at the Kennedy Center.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
It was really fun. It was Valentine's thing for my wife. It was really good.
Oh, how cool.
So the second truth is I was actually a male model for some welding masks.
Yes!
For some welding masks? Is that what you said?
Well, it was safety gear. It was like the masks that come down for like electricians, so that it's a flash mask. So in case they get flashed.
Please tell me it was shirtless. Was it shirtless?
Oh, no.
All like,
well, it was in case they got flashed. So.
So yeah, the carpool lane. I always wanted to, never did.
Yeah, that's fair. I always like that idea of having like just somebody that looks vaguely human in the passenger seat. Be like, it's fine. Then nobody's gonna tell the difference. It's okay. Yeah, just keep a rod on and like wave, like pretend like it's like poking its face or something.
Or just out the window doing the thing.
Rolling with the homies.
I really like that idea. Okay, well, darn. I guess that my hopes of doing that in real life is
But I'm gonna need these welding ads like yesterday.
He had a pseudonym. It wasn't he couldn't be seen without a shirt on like that. So.
It's funny because I'll be on the couch and my wife is on the other couch and she'll go, or I'll say something like, "Hey, honey, check me out, welding." I go, I'm a male model, honey, and she goes, "Yeah, welding man." It's true.
It's true.
But it is, professional model.
Yeah. Mom always said I had a face for welding masks.
Oh man. Now I think is a good time to bring in our resident expert of all things, Dr. Know-It-All. Yeah. Dr. Know-It-All, for those of you who don't know, is our multi-headed expert of all things. Today, his heads look like me. Chunk.
Yes.
We'll go this way. Chunk, Kevin,
yes,
and Cucumber.
Oh.
And we'll answer your questions for advice, or any kind of questions you have, in that order. Chunk, Kevin, and Cucumber. One head at a time, one word at a time until an answer has been given.
Yes.
Dr. Know-It-All, please include some of the question in your answer so we know what you're talking about. And then please bow with all your heads at the end to let us know that the answer has been given.
Fabulous.
Ready, Kevin?
That makes sense.
I guess.
We're gonna go one word at a time. We got it.
Okay.
Yes.
It's okay. Like I said, we're always really great at this game.
They're the best.
Yeah, the best
Talking about?
around.
Flawless.
Dr. Know-It-All, Reed wants to know, what is the best way to cook an egg?
Okay. The
Best
Way.
to
cook
And.
egg
fry
It.
in
Fry it in.
butter.
And.
bacon
Fat.
Until.
it
Can.
Hatch.
and
Then
You.
simply
eat.
The.
egg. Thank you. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
That's good. That's not bad.
Pretty good.
Not bad. It wasn't except the hatching part. Was
What's
a
wrong
little-
with that?
Nothing.
Then you have a chicken.
Then you have a chicken.
That was 3 out of 5 stars, maybe, right?
3 out of 5. Yeah, that's
3.5.
no Michelin star for this restaurant. So
I got a 2 out of 3 welding masks.
2 out of 3 welding masks. Dr. Know-It-All, Menji wants to know, how do you get an arm out of your rear? Asking for a friend.
What?
I don't know.
What?
I don't think I want to know, Menji.
Hey, we're doctors, all right? We don't judge.
How do you get an arm out of your rear?
To
Remove
And.
arm
out
Of.
your
ass.
You.
pull
Hard.
Clockwise.
and
Use
Lube.
liberally.
amen.
Hard clockwise. Ouch.
Yeah, if you go counterclockwise, that's when you get into trouble.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure.
because once you lock in, you really gotta, because otherwise it's just too much of a struggle bus. I'm a struggle bussy.
So,
Sorry.
Wow.
You've been hanging out on
Sorry.
TikTok too
I've
much.
been on the internet.
I like how immediately you regretted using that
I
word.
didn't like it.
Oh, Annie Menji says puppet question, you guys. I thought you would be experts.
Whew.
Oh. See, we automatically assume it's always something dirty. That's
Because
what we
we're
do.
real.
Because we're real. Talaxian6 says, will Dino ever find out if he is a long forgotten descendant of Kevin?
Oh.
Dino,
Wonders
If
he
could
be
related
to.
Kevin,
Carlson
However,
he
will
check
his
family
DNA
and
find
anomalies.
in
said.
Said?
Yeah, and said.
Probably
not.
Thanks.
Anomalies in my DNA.
Yeah.
You should go see a real doctor. I'm concerned for you.
Concern for me. I am too.
Okay, our degree is in medical, so
It's a philosophy.
That's a philosophy degree.
I was trying to get the Dino.
Where are we at? Oh, extract. Will Kevin ever?
No,
that's not. That's just a question. Dr. Know-It-All Reed wants to know, who is the greatest puppet ever?
Oh shit.
Oh shit.
the
Most
Bestest.
greatest
spectacular
Imaginatious.
puppet
Thank you.
clearly
Must.
be
George Bush.
thank you. Don't usually get political in the show.
That's okay. It's far enough back that it's more of a meme than a political opinion.
Oh, sorry. X-Trex was a Dr. Know-It-All.
Oh, it was a Dr. Know-It-All question. Got it. That's right. Gotcha. Sorry. Dr. Know-It-All. Dr. Know-It-All. Will Kevin ever be on Perception Check? Which is our D&D show. One of our D&D shows.
Kevin
doesn't
want
to
play
D&D
because
he
is
an
ass.
Oh.
That's okay. He said it. It's fine. I was gonna say he's too busy.
Twice, I think.
Oh my gosh! Timmy the Two said ass.
Timmy, Phyllis.
Thank you, Dr. Know-It-All, for your advice today. We appreciate it. And Kevin, thank you for coming out and hanging out with us. This is a lot of fun, and I'm glad we got to bring our worlds together from my childhood into their professional careers and everything too. Stop being weird.
You're so flaily.
I'm sorry, my mic
hurt me.
The other headphone went behind. Anyways.
Put them in your ears.
I can't hear you all.
You got to get your headphones together.
Oh man, that was more English than my grandma can actually speak. But thank you so much for hanging out with us, Kevin. Really, it was a blast.
Good time.
Yeah. Is there anything coming up that you want to promote at all? Anything that's to look out for?
No, not really. No, just waiting for the next gig. I was going to say I've been doing some dubbing audio replacement for a Mexican series that's going to be on Netflix, it's going to be on Disney Plus, and it's really fun to be able to replace the Mexican dialogue. It's challenging too because you have to make it all fit in their mouths, and then you have to kind of get all the acting kind of thing with it too.
Wait, it was in Spanish first, and then you're dubbing in English?
Yeah, dubbing in English.
Cool.
And I got to play this one slick, good-looking Mexican guy who's an assistant, and then I also got to play this big, chubby gardener guy. So it's fun. It's diverse. I like the diversity.
What's the show called? Could you tell us?
It's called El Galan.
El Galan.
Yeah, I don't know. Plus? I think so. I think it's either in Disney Plus or something like that.
Okay, we got to look for it.
Yeah.
Very cool. And then go ahead.
Oh no, I was wondering if I'm on an NDA or not. I don't know.
Well,
we'll stop there.
Sorry, we'll stop there. And then where can they find you day to day?
Well, I'm on Facebook and also Instagram. Oh, there I am. Kevin Carlson, 1962 on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping to become an influencer one day.
Me too, man. Me too.
What do you need? Like 50,000?
Oh, it's like more than that now. You need like in the millions and stuff. You need a stupid little blue check mark. Oh,
sorry.
Hey,
Oops,
what
wrong
the
button.
hell happened?
You
pushed the wrong button.
Oh, hey, John.
What is
What do you good, Chuck?
I'm fine.
Okay, there we go.
Pushing buttons. Okay, I fixed it.
But yeah, so go follow Kevin on Instagram, see him post stuff, get involved in whatever he's going to be doing next, and
yeah, get involved in every.
I don't know.
Every event of his life.
I'll show you my tomatoes when they come out.
Yeah. Mayor Watts says, if you're ever wondering if you are on an NDA, don't worry, the attorneys will remind you at some point.
Somebody will come looking for you.
There you go. Thank you. But thanks again for joining us, Kevin. And if you all at home there think that our show is worth any of your
at least $1, please consider joining our Patreon. It helps support the studio, keep the lights on, pay the rent, all that good stuff. We appreciate everything. Everything donate goes right back into the studio, so
you
we
can
continue.
Be a Patreon producer like MJ Snowdowd, as well as an associate producer like Indus Keep, Jessica Gillespie, Liam Huddlemeyer, Logan Gilbert, Burke, and Mitchie909.
Yes.
As well as our wonderful Felton family and friends. But thank you for oh yeah.
No, I'm pointing at the.
Oh, you're pointing at them.
Oh, it's over here.
And Dick Sword too.
Dick Sword, everybody.
But yeah, thank you for joining us today. Please join our Patreon, join our Discord community if you haven't already. Discord.rollforhotness.com.
Yes.
We got lots of stuff still going on.
Reed Harris Cooper.
What?
Reed Harris Cooper.
Reed Harris Cooper. Yes, Reed Harris Cooper. Don't forget, next week we are not doing a show on Thursday. Our next show will be May 1st on Sunday morning. We're changing our shows to Sunday mornings.
I won't be there.
Our first guest on Sunday mornings will be Steve Bradford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're gonna miss it.
Sorry, buddy.
Call in.
No friend. No, not at that work. I'm
do
doing
it.
something else. I'm working at a horror event.
Ooh, fun.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so come join us on May 1st at 9 a.m. Same time, same place. Thanks again, everybody. Have a good day.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, thank you guys. It was fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, good job.
Button.